Hey guys, today we are going to learn how to post messages to Slack using test automation framework. So as a part of this video, what I'm going to show you is how to post messages using a simple Java project. And the same code can then be integrated to your automation framework also in order to post messages in the form of automation status, execution report, and other messages also like log, application logs, automation logs, and all. So to start with, we are going to proceed this particular session in two parts basically. In first part, I'm going to show you how to configure Slack account. That's going to take like maybe 5 to 7 minutes. I'll just take you through all the steps because that's the basic prerequisite thing which we have to do, and it's really important. And after that, I'll take you to the Java, the simple Java project where you can just integrate the code and then run it to post the messages. So let's start. All right, so I need to navigate to a few URLs to do that. I have made a note of it to make it quick. So this is a Slack app URL, which you have to go and navigate. The first step here is, okay, it's in place in problem. Yeah, so first thing what you have to do is you have to set up a workspace. And to do that, you need to click here, create a new workspace like this. And then it will ask you to log in, using your account. So if you do not have any account created, you can use a Gmail address directly. I'm using my personal Gmail address. Here you can see I have logged in now. You can see the user account. And then a button is enabled for me to create a workspace. So I'm going to click here. It's going to trigger me to create the workspace. It'll ask for a few basic inputs to be provided. So first of all, I have to provide name of the workspace. I'll put it as automation demo workspace, right? And it's going to ask you the basic information about how many members are working along with you in your team. Just put any number. This is where it will ask you to provide the email address or account of people who want to access this workspace. For now, I'm going to skip this step. It's loading now. Okay, so here we can see, yeah. So now you can see the workspace is created. You can see the workspace name here. All right, it comes with an URL. So if you'll copy this URL and launch it, it's going to directly take you to the workspace. Okay, the next step towards this is to create an app. And to do that, we'll be navigating to the app API of Slack. The URL is this. So it says api.slack.com. Okay. So here you'll see an option to create an app. You have to click here, create an app, create a new app from scratch, provide any new app here. So I'm going to keep the same naming standard, automation demo app. And then it'll ask you to add the workspace also. So if you remember, we have created a workspace here in the first step. This is my workspace name, automation demo workspace. So I'm going to use that name here. It's going to show in the first list, first option in the list here. I just select it and then create app. All right, the app is created. The next step which we have to do is we have to create a channel. This is the channel where messages will be posted in Slack. So you have to go back to the workspace URL, and then beside channel, you'll see a plus icon, plus button here. Click and then create a channel. You can't put any name here. So what I'm going to do is automation demo channel. just following the same name standard, which I have used there for workspace and app. Okay, so I'm going to just create it now. Here also it will ask you to provide the email address who wants to access this, but I'm going to skip this for now. Okay, so you can see here the new channel is created. It's the name of the channel. All right. So we have to enable few things inside api.slack.com. The first thing which we have to enable is, incoming webhooks. So you can see incoming webhooks here. You need to click here. You will see a slider. You just need to tap here. Now it's enabled. You can see a few things listed here in the form of curl. So this is basically the curl command, but we have to get a webhooks URL. For that, we have to add this new webhook to the workspace. So right now we just created the webhook. We haven't added to the workspace. Now with this step, we will be adding it to the automation demo channel, which is ultimately, associated to the workspace which we have created. And then we just need to click allow button here. All right, so now you can see here, we'll get a webhooks URL. We need to copy this because we'll need this in our automation test. I'm gonna just save this webhook URL. Sorry for the typo. Right. The next thing which we have to do is we have to enable OAuth and permission. For that, we need to go here to OAuth and permissions. Once you navigate to this particular screen, you will see part user auth token. You need to copy this and store this as well. So OAuth token. Next thing which we have to do is we have to enable few scope for bot token scopes. So we just need to add two methods here, file read and file write. So, right. So I've added two method you can see here, files read and files write. That's all we need to do here in the setup of the APIs for Slack. In order to load this, all this configuration which we have done in this app, we just need to reinstall app by clicking it here. We'll ask you to select the channel once again. We just need to select the channel, click allow. That's all. So now you can see we have got a success message. It means the APIs which we have enabled for this particular channel is now active. All right. So the next thing one last thing which we have to make a note of is automation channel. Sorry, Slack channel, which we created. We would need this as well for our coding. I'm gonna copy it from here. So now let's go to the second part of the video where we'll learn how to set it up in the automation project or maybe a simple Java project. So I'm going to use IntelliJ for this. I'm going to show you by creating a simple Java project. This is existing one which I have used. Maybe I'll close it up and then I'll create a new project. I'm creating a Maven project because I'll be using Maven dependencies. Slack integration for demo. Let me finish it up. So a new project is created. Here we need to provide the dependencies, and in dependencies we have to provide dependency for three things. First thing is uh, JSlack. The second thing is HTTP client, and then HTTP meme. So I'm gonna just create the sample here. I'll pull out those dependencies from Google, from Maven repository, central repository. I'll say JSlack Maven. So this is one which we have to add in form. JSlack is added. And then we have HTTP client, Apache HTTP client. This is the one which we have to add as well. This is for API interaction. Another one is HTTP meme. So I have added these three dependencies only for now, because I just want to run you through basic coding for this particular work. I have just resolved the dependencies, so everything is fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'll create a simple class file here. Slack integration test. Okay. I'll create a void method, main method basically, to check everything is fine in this project. Okay. So now you can see the project is created. We are able to print it. I'm going to create a method which would do all the necessary work for us. Okay, so public static void send message to Slack. I'll parameterize it with string variable where I'll pass in message. Yeah. Before this, I'll have few private variables created. Private static string. First one is webhooks URL. Second variable is auth token. Third variable is your Slack channel. Okay. So if you remember, I have noted all these things when I was setting it up in Slack app. So I'll just copy these values and put it here. This is your webhooks URL. This is OAuth token. This is channel name. I'll just verify once again the OAuth one, because when you load it, it changes sometimes. So we'll make sure that I'm putting up the right thing here. This is copy. Right. We're done with the variable creation. Now let's write the code here to invoke this using API. I'll first create the string builder. and name it as message builder. Next step is about appending the message which we have created as a variable, as a parameter to this. So message builder dot append, we will be using it further in our code. Then we are going to we'll create the payload instance, and this payload is basically is going to have the data which you want to post to Slack. Okay, so payload dot filter, and we will invoke the channel here. Channel name is variable name which we have put in here, Slack channel. Text, and then message builder is message builder, the one which we created in line number 15. We'll convert this to string to make it proper. Dot build. This is done. Another piece is where we will create the webhook response. Webhook response, and this is going to basically send the messages to Slack communicator. So Slack dot get instance dot send. What is going to send? It will be sending your payload which you have created just before this, and this payload will be sent to the URL which we have stored here. All right, so we will just add this exception handling also here, so that we will not get any unexpected errors. Right. Fine, so we are ready with the code now. Let's try to execute and see how it works. So I'm going to call this send message to Slack. Will first message to Slack app using automation. So let's run this and see how it goes on. Building the project right now. Okay, so the execution is done. We will now check in Slack if the message is posted. All right, so you can see now here clearly the message which we entered there. When we executed it, it's getting posted successfully here. Okay, now let's try to post one more message and see if it is working fine. Okay, and I'm just gonna add again word after this. We'll run it. Okay, you can now see the second message also posted successfully. So now we can see here that the utility which we have created is working fine. Here you can pass payload in the form of JSON as well. Okay, you can pass and you can create any message in the form of string and pass it to this particular method in your automation. You can use it in your listeners also, in test listeners or in Cucumber listeners or in JUnit listeners, and post these messages in after suite or in hooks commands to the Slack, so that it's gonna be easy for anyone to just go and check the status of automation execution in communicator rather going to any particular location. Okay, so this makes it even easier for anyone to access this status of automation execution directly in communicator rather referring to any email or any location. Okay. So that's all about today video. Maybe you would have liked it. Let me know if you have any questions around it. You can post it in the comment. We'll try to answer it as soon as possible. Thanks everyone.